I want to say thank you to the university for inviting us. I feel very proud because I'm Puerto Rican, so this is a Puerto Rican university, so I feel extremely proud and happy to be here. Thank you so much. Yes, Boricua. I was born in Santurce, Puerto Rico, the year of the Cuban Revolution. My family was Catholic. And I say Catholic, quote unquote, because like many Puerto Rican families, we were baptized, educated in Catholic schools, but we were truly just nominal Catholics. I grew up surrounded by priests, nuns, and psychics. Yes, we had a secret, and I was not supposed to talk about it. My family practiced Espiritismo. My grandparents were founders of La Casa de las Almas, a spiritualist temple in San Juan. My grandmother, like most women in my family, had the gift. In other words, she was a psychic medium. By the time I was 12 years old, 5 Cuban families moved to our neighborhood. 4 of them practiced Santeria. To me, they were a very mysterious group of people, and I did all I could not to cross their path. I was terrified and afraid. One day, I was riding my bicycle and I see Doña Gladys. Doña Gladys is one of the Cuban ladies that moved to the neighborhood, and she was also known by the name Gladys Chango. She was running towards me with a look of fierce determination. Her body language and behavior did not look normal. In other words, she was acting like a man. And this was a very feminine lady. What was wrong with her? Being that I was only 12 years old, I froze. She yanked me out of the bicycle, took me inside her house. My sister, my poor little sister, ran to my mother screaming in horror. Doña Gladys lost her mind and took Nydia hostage. She also added, Mami, corre, la cubana bruja va a matar a Nydia. The Cuban witch is going to kill Nydia. You can imagine, right? The show, the neighborhood, the kids, everybody screaming. My mom, what's wrong? Me screaming, what's wrong with this woman? What we didn't know at the time is that she was not Gladys Chango who yanked me out of the bike. Gladys was possessed with the male deity Chango. My mother finally showed up and Chango delivered the message. He said, you don't know me yet, but you will. You were born with a mission, and to be able to accomplish that mission, you need to get ordained. He turned around, the way that he walks and the way that he behaves, so proud and beautiful, and he said, yo soy Chango Rufina. I am Chango, and you are my daughter. I did not get ordained right away. I waited 5 years. And in those 5 years, I got to meet those Cuban families. Those families were struggling with life in a new country, the sorrow of leaving everything behind, but also firmly determined to preserve and practice their religion. Lukumi had already suffered the horror and inhumanity of slavery. And Lukumi was now going through another painful transition, exile. I had the chance to meet and learn from the founders of our religion in Puerto Rico. I met great women of strength and courage, priestesses that ruled the religious houses, women like Gladys Chango, whom I will never forget. Finally, at 18 years old, I got ordained, or did santo, as is commonly known in our slang. After the ceremony, a priestess of Ochum told me, and she said, listen to me, to what I'm going to say. Remember everything that I'm going to tell you. She said, today and for the rest of your life, you are a priestess of Chango, our beloved king. From now on, you have a great responsibility. You have to respect the orishas, respect your elders, honor your ancestors, get a good religious education, respect yourself, and always represent our religion with dignity. Lukumi is a religious system very different from Christianity as it relates to women. Women in Lukumi are priestesses equal to men. We learn how to prepare sacred foods specific to each deity or orisha. We learn divination using the 16-karat shell system, which, by the way, is a female value instrument. We learn religious iconography, healing rituals and ceremonies. We have the authority to ordain others into the priesthood, male or female. And it is very important to point out that ordination, like Marisol said, into the priesthood is considered a rebirth. We become godmothers, which serve as religious counselors and healers to their respective congregation. With her advice and the advice of my elders, I started my journey. It's been 38 years now, and many things have happened. I moved from my beloved island, Puerto Rico, came to Miami. I've ordained others into the priesthood. I've been a student, a teacher, a priestess, but also an account executive of one of the major transportation companies in the US. But I believe that my most important role has been to be part of the fight and struggle to get our religion recognized in this country. The Supreme Court case, Church of the Lukumi Babaluaye versus City of Hialeah, consumed many years of our life. It took strength, tenacity, sacrifice, religious conviction, and faith in our Constitution and the American legal system. I can say that along with my husband's family, I was part of a very important chapter in our religious history. What Chango said over 40 years ago was prophetic. I had a very difficult and important journey ahead of me. Yes, we won the Supreme Court case, but the journey and struggle continues, and I am proud and honored to be part of it. For this, I have to say every day, until the day that I die, blessed be our King, Mafefong Chango.